Welcome back to the Fallbar Baseball Show. Both from Memphis, Tennessee. We're just down the hall from each other. Hopefully, we're in the Rhodes podcast room sooner rather than later. I would like that. That's, as of right now, beyond our control,
Yep.
unfortunately. But we decided it was time to hop back on. All MLB teams have, I think after today, it'll be 6 games left,
Yeah, I think that's the number.
something like that. A week left, basically, in the Major League regular season. And things are far from decided. So what we're going to do is just take a look at where teams stand, who still has a chance, what has to happen. Take a look at our predictions from the beginning of the year that are on an episode somewhere and see how we did and kind of forecast this next week. And then we'll come back in a week when things are finalized and talk about the playoffs.
Yep. Pretty much hit the nail on the head there.
So just start, pick a league, Fallman, and we'll start there.
Let's go into the AL. That's where the fun's happening right now.
Yeah, the AL is pretty crazy.
Yeah, so I mean,
Go ahead.
just to get us kicked off, there is currently one team who is in the playoffs right now in the
Mhm.
AL, which at the beginning of the year we could have very much so predicted, and I think we did predict that there was no clear winner here. Now, another thing that we kind of harped on was that eventual winner was going to come from the AL East. Um, and that seems to be the dominant division.
Yeah.
But there are some surprise teams like the Tigers, who were the best team in baseball for a month or two in the middle of the year, and the Seattle Mariners have come alive. The Astros are still really good, and even some fun teams like the Guardians are hot, and then obviously the Sox. They've had their ups and downs, but great team there. And then the Yankees, they're fighting neck and neck with them. So
And it's also important to note that the team that we thought would come out of the AL East, like the eventual one, is not the one that has. The Blue Jays have the most wins in the American League. They're 90 and 66. All of their middling role players stepped up in unimaginable ways. George Springer is having a career year, a
literally,
resurgence. And the pitching, they've got established big leaguers that are working together to figure it out, I guess is my best way to say it. And they could finish with 94 wins maybe, and it's going to be good enough to be the best team in the AL East. AL, totally.
yeah. And I mean, when that team gets in the playoffs, historically, they they get rowdy in there in Toronto, and
Mhm.
that place can be a really tough place to be in as an away team. So they could really, really do some damage if their pitching can hold up like it has this year.
Mhm.
But we'll see how that goes. Their starting pitching is a little rocky, and that gets you through the playoffs, or at least it showed it did last year. So
Yeah. Now, they don't have the division on lock technically. They're only 2 games ahead of the Yankees.
sure. Yeah.
The other two divisions are also not on lock. The Mariners are 2 games ahead of the Astros. They're about to win, so they'll be 3 games ahead. I guess it's the fourth. It's the fourth inning, but it's 7-1.
Yeah. Yeah, the Blue Jays definitely don't have anything on lock. They got the Sox in the next three, who still need some fight to get
Yep.
in.
Yep.
And we've got the Rays to finish up, who A, are not a pushover team, and B, there's no division rival that's not trying to play spoiler. And while the
Oh
Blue Jays
yeah.
technically can't be fully spoiled, they can still get kicked out of that one slot. So
Yeah. Seattle will be 3 games above Houston, I guess, and Detroit and Cleveland are only separated by 1 game, and the team that doesn't win the AL Central might not make the playoffs at all.
yeah.
And
Like
Detroit was running away with the American League in the summer.
yeah, I mean for the better half of 3 months, maybe even longer. Like They were the first team to 50, 60, 70 wins. I'm pretty
Hmm.
sure all three of those marks. And they've lost 9 out of their last 10. Pitching's kind of fallen off. Scooble's gone down. Hitting has gone downhill. It's been a rough month for the Tigers. And I mean, they just got swept by the Braves, who aren't have no chance anymore at making the playoffs. And I mean, they
Yeah.
really haven't had much of a chance all year. So,
It's
yeah.
funny though with the Tigers is like they started getting super hot almost exactly a calendar year ago when they went on their crazy September to sneak
Right.
into the playoffs. And then they get to September this year and the bottom falls out. They're 1-9 in their last 10. I have that up just right here on MLB.com. They've lost six in a row. So if they
Yeah.
get jumped by Cleveland and keep losing, they're by no means comfortable. If they weren't winning their division, they would be the third wild card team right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
And
basically the key for Detroit, Cleveland, Boston, and Houston is the three teams that win the most are going to be the ones that are in.
I mean that's just the name of the game. You just gotta
Yep.
take it by game and keep winning. Um, yeah, it's definitely gonna be interesting because of course the Tigers could just turn around for these last 6 games and act like none of that ever happened. Um, but they got the Guardians, who are one of the hottest teams, if not the
Scorching
hottest team in
hot.
baseball. And then they got to face the Red Sox, who are sitting in the same boat as they are right now.
Mhm.
So
That's going to be a very important series.
yeah, they've got two bloodbaths ahead of them. I'm sure
It
Tigers.
is at Fenway Park, if I'm not mistaken.
It sure is. Yeah.
Okay, well, that won't be the worst thing, but we'll see. Because in 3 days, the Tigers could win their next three, and Cleveland could lose the next three, and the division could be over.
Yep.
Or the other way around, and Detroit's out, and they need to beat the Red Sox to play spoiler.
Yeah.
So at this time of year, everything changes really fast.
Yeah. It's crazy that we're already here.
We can't even like forecast matchups or anything like that
Right.
because
Yeah.
everyone's within 2 games of each other.
Yep. All right. On to the sad AL for me.
Sad
Um,
AL.
or the NL.
Yeah, I know. A little
Yeah.
sad.
Well, it's sad because the Mets are so bad. Um, yeah, well, yeah, I'll just go ahead and,
Hmm.
address the elephant in the room that the Mets are out of a playoff game as of right now, as of September 21st at 7:39 p.m. Um,
Central Time.
Central Time. Yeah. Uh, yeah. So the Mets have had one of those years where it's just been an absolute roller coaster, and they will win six, they'll lose eight, and then they'll win eight, and they'll lose six, whatever it is. And the way all Mets fans have been saying this year is however we finish the year will determine what happens after, if there even is an after.
Hmm.
And as of right now, they're sitting outside of a playoff spot. And they will do one of two things. They will entirely collapse and
Hmm.
they will blow the next two series and they just won't even sniff a playoff game, or they will get scorching hot and be a really, really tough team to beat in October.
Right.
Because this
As they
team,
have been in the past couple of years.
right, and this team, while they haven't played very well at all, and while they've been banged up, it's not it's not your typical like wild card pushover team because their roster is kind of made for September. It's the offense is kind of it it's a bunch of guys who've been there. It's a bunch of guys who can really sustain success throughout the playoffs. And then the rotation, the biggest problem has been that 3, 4, 5 guy, but the 4 and the 5 aren't really in play once you hit the
The
playoffs
playoffs.
with the game breaks. So you roll out McLean, you roll out what the Mets did the other day, where they did Holmes and Manaea in the same game. And I think they did that today. They lost today, but they still pitched well. They gave up 3 runs as a combination. And then you throw out Tong or Sproat or both. Like there's a lot of good that can come from this team in October. But the problem is you just gotta get there.
Oh yeah.
Like, so yeah, there's my spiel.
This is not what you would want in any circumstance, but the National League has left the door open for some serious chaos.
Yeah.
There is one spot, and there are one, two, three, four, five, six teams that are technically still eligible to fill it.
Yep.
If the Cardinals win six in a row and the Reds and Mets both lose both their series, the Cardinals could be in the playoffs
That would be
at,
insane.
at 82 and 80.
Oh my gosh.
The number to get to is probably, I think you said 84.
84 is probably what
84.
gets you in, or at least gets you tied.
Yeah, that would mean the Reds slash the Mets win four out of their next six, which is probably what it takes.
Yeah.
Because
The
if
Reds,
Arizona wins five out of six, then they're at 84.
yeah. The Reds probably have the easiest path
Mhm.
because they've got the Pirates and they've got the Brewers, but the Brewers don't have really anything to play
Have anything to
for.
play for.
By the time
Technically,
they
the
get to that
one,
series, they might have the number one overall seed locked
that's
up.
true.
So,
Even then, 1-2, you both get a bye for the wild card series. So,
right, it doesn't really matter all that much unless you really
mhm.
have a preference for who you want to play next. But, um, and then the Mets, they've got the Cubs and the Marlins. Both are away series, which is, I mean, that's just recipe for heartbreak.
The
But
Cubs are also, I guess they're not technically locked in to a home wild card series, but they
yeah,
do have three games on the Padres, so it's more than likely that they will host. It's more likely that they'll just host the Padres.
yeah, yeah,
But that home field could flip, so I don't think the Cubs are going to be selling the bag quite
yeah.
yet here. Also, if
You-
you're the Cubs, do you want to see the established Mets in the playoffs, or do you want to see the old power friendship Cincinnati Reds with 25 year
Right,
old 25-year-old starting pitchers that haven't seen the playoffs yet?
right, yeah,
So
and yeah. Um,
that'll be the NL is just as exciting as the AL. It's a little bit more of a two-horse race,
yes,
but
but
if
the
tomorrow
Diamondbacks are there.
tomorrow the Reds and Mets could lose and the Diamondbacks could win, and we had got a three-way tie.
Yeah. Now the Diamondbacks have the Dodgers and the Padres in their next two,
Okay, so maybe we don't.
which that's really brutal. But you know,
Dodgers don't have the division locked up.
no, they're both playing for stuff right now.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah. Oh man, it could get really, really spooky here in the NL in these next few days. Um, the Giants, they finish up with the Cardinals and the Rockies. So they could easily
okay,
take 6 there. They literally
yeah.
could.
Or
Um,
if they take five, then they give themselves a chance. You get a blunder from the Reds or the Mets.
yeah. I mean, for them, they probably need to take 6 to get to 83 wins.
Yeah, that
83
would be
could
like,
get you in, but even still, that's tough.
yeah.
Um,
We can't have a team making the playoffs at 82 and 80 and then tell me we should expand how many teams get into the playoffs.
yeah, exactly. Um, but yeah, so the wild card race, yeah, I mean, we've touched on it. It's going to
See who
be
Houston plays. Houston plays Athletics and Angels.
A's and Angels. Yeah, it's looking pretty good for them.
Six road games though,
Yeah. Guards got the Tigers and the Rangers. That's pretty tough, but they're hot.
and the Rangers are
Yeah.
done. Rangers are officially done so. Well, they might not be because they're 5.5 games out, but 5.5 games out, 6 games left. I mean, what do you want me to do?
All right. So I think if I had to take a guess of who it's going to be,
Yeah, why not?
I think I'm throwing Houston in there over the Guardians.
I think so too. I think the way it
Because
looks right now,
I I like their finishing schedule better. I kind of just like the team better overall. Like the
yeah.
Guardians are pitching the crap out of it right now, but they they just don't really have that much oomph in that lineup.
Hmm.
And if their pitching doesn't really show up that day, it's not all that great. And I mean, like they have 616 runs scored this year, which is 50 less than Houston. It's over
Hmm.
150 less than Boston. Like
They have a
that
negative run differential.
yeah, that offense is really just there's no firepower there. So
Cleveland is, I got this up. Cleveland is tied for the fewest runs scored in the American League
that's insane.
with Kansas City.
And we said that from the get too, right?
Yeah.
Like, they will always have the pitching because they find a way to make guys good.
Hmm.
And honestly, their staff is pretty solid. Um, but they just don't have any bats. Like Bybee's been good, been solid. Gavin Williams has been a uh great
He
addition
came
on
off getting hurt, I think.
who is?
I think he came off getting hurt, Gavin Williams.
Yeah.
Like he only pitched for
Um,
part of the season.
but he's got 30 starts still, striking guys out. He's had a really, really solid season for them.
Yeah.
And their bullpen as usual is good. But that
Yeah.
lineup, man, they've got Jose Ramirez, they got Steven Kwan, and they got who else? So
My thing that might contribute to Cleveland fizzling out because I've experienced it with my own team is it is really hard to get superb starting pitching for like over 2 weeks with no break.
yeah,
It happens for teams every now and then. To get it like one trip through the rotation happens a good bit. Like, oh, everyone was 5, 6 innings, 2 runs or less, or something like that. That is a very hard thing to sustain. If they can do it and it rides into the playoffs, more power to them.
yeah,
But it's more than likely that that magic fades out a little bit.
yeah,
And then we'll have to see, especially against Detroit, who we know can pitch. How are you going to find a way to score runs?
yeah. Um, Cleveland's offense is ranked 29th in the league in team OPS. Not great.
No, it's not.
So
They're
I think
also they're also 37 and 46 against teams greater than 500.
yeesh. And yeah, they got two to finish up, I think we said.
Texas is better than 500 too. So
Yeah.
yeah. So I guess the things we have to pay attention to in the AL is Cleveland and Detroit play three, which could be for the division,
Yeah.
and then Detroit Detroit plays the Red Sox this weekend. That's either Detroit and the Red Sox fighting for their season, or the Red Sox fighting to stay alive, and Detroit already kind of has the division locked.
Yeah.
So those are the biggest series in the AL. You got to monitor the Astros a little bit, but I feel like the assumption is they take care of business
Yeah.
and go at least 4 out of 6 against those teams, and then it's basically up to the Red Sox versus second place in the AL Central, whoever that ends up being in 3 days.
Yep.
And in the NL, we got to look at the Reds. You said Pittsburgh and Milwaukee,
Yep. And then we
the
got the Mets who have the
Mets.
Cubs and
the
Marlins.
Marlins.
Uh,
So I wish they were playing each other. That would be insane.
that that would be nuts. Um, yeah. The problem,
For our sanity's sake, it's probably good that they're not.
yeah, especially
But
for
that would
my
be nuts.
safety. Good
Yeah,
Lord. Um, but yeah, the problem is the Mets. I think the Mets got to win five because I don't see the Reds losing. I don't really see the Reds losing three.
yeah. I guess it's
Yeah.
possible, but they won't lose the series to the Pirates. Like that's almost a given.
Yeah. And I mean, I could see them dropping it to the Brewers, but even even the Brewers, like you don't really know what kind of lineups you're rolling out there,
Mhm.
all that type of stuff. Don't want, fastballs off the wrists, that kind of thing.
Yeah,
But we'll see. We sure will see. Another thing that's interesting that we were going to talk about is where we had everybody at the beginning of the year versus
oh,
where
yeah.
they are now, and kind of what happened in
MLB
between.
record prediction.
So I guess we'll start in the AL like we did the last one.
Yeah,
So the way I had it, I had the Yankees at 90 wins, Red Sox at 90 wins, Orioles at 85, not great
yeah.
there. Jays at 81, also not great there, and then the Rays at 78, which might might be right on
That might hit.
track. Um, and then
The Red
for the
Sox
Central,
at 89. I'll just do
oh,
the East. Let's stay at the East.
yeah,
I had the Red Sox at 89. I had the Yankees at 87, which they already beat. They're at 88. I'm just monitor. And the Orioles at 86, bad beat. Toronto 81 and Tampa 77.
yeah,
So close, kind of.
yeah,
Toronto, the Blue Jays is gonna be a misfight over 10 games, which is tough. But it wasn't a sexy pick to think that the Blue Jays were gonna be bad. They just proved everybody wrong.
yep,
Um, the Red Sox are going to fall. They might not fall short of 89 wins, honestly, if they go 4-2.
yeah. That might be a
Um,
pretty good pick there.
the Yankees showed their flaws that we kind of pointed out preseason and still ended up where we thought they would be roughly.
Yeah,
And then the Rays are the
bats.
Rays. They're
Those
the worst
bats took
team.
them there.
They're in fifth place.
Yeah, I the two obvious stories here are the Jays and the Orioles. And we pointed out before the season that the Orioles had no pitching and that the Jays needed somebody or multiple people to step up. And we didn't understand, or we didn't predict the severity of each of those
Yeah.
and
Oh, yeah.
the possibility of each of those. And the Orioles pitching is so bad. They've given
Except
up
one guy.
760 runs, which is uh
Third most in the AL.
yeah, that's not
Fourth
good.
most.
Really bad.
Yeah.
Um, and the offense just hasn't been able to keep up. Adley's been banged up, and when he's been healthy, he hasn't really been all that great.
Mhm.
Gunnar Henderson hasn't kept up to what he was doing, and really just all the bats that kind of made that offense so explosive last year just
Mhm.
didn't really show their didn't really show that kind of production. And then
Yeah.
on the Jays side, it's kind of the opposite story. It's we didn't really think the rotation was going to do the trick, but it sure did. I mean, they still allowed, a lot of runs this year, but they just
Yeah.
scored so many more. And the thing was, you had guys like Ernie Clement step up. You had Nathan Lucas. That's his name,
Ethan
right?
Lucas. Yeah.
Um, and then, I mean, you just had so many guys like that step up. Kirk's having a great year.
Even the names that people do know.
Right, yeah, like Bichette was like, what was he gonna do this year? Was he just gonna dwindle away as this like mediocre shortstop, or was he really gonna pick up the twig and get back to where he was, and sure seemed like he did that more. So
Very good. The AL Central, I got completely backwards.
I
I had
got one team right.
84, 83, 82, 81. Royals, Twins, Tigers, Guardians.
Yeah, I
The
had
Twins were catastrophic.
yeah, I had Tigers, Royals, Twins, Guardians, White Sox in the order of 87, 85, 84, 81, 45. I kind of thought the White Sox were going to be the punching bag again, which they were, but not to the
They're at
same.
58.
Um, yeah, I mean they overshot my projection, but
Hmm.
that's more because I thought I kind of needed to give wins to other teams.
Yeah.
Um,
So the worries about the Royals offense hit.
yeah,
The Twins got hurt, just like we said they could.
yeah,
Detroit, their guys, the magic carried over. We talked about Detroit.
right.
Cleveland,
Scott,
we were on pace for a while, and now the magic is happening again.
yeah, yeah. I
That
mean
was that was the worst time was the AL Central.
yeah. I mean we've kind of bashed the AL Central ever since we've done this thing, and
Yeah, that's
no
right.
more fun this year, except for the fact that they have a little bit of a competition here at the end. But
Hmm.
yeah,
It could get
not
exciting.
great. But let's move on to that good old AL West, which
Let's
is
do it.
another area where we were close but no cigar.
It wasn't my smoothest move. I had the Rangers in first
Yeah,
with 92 wins.
my order was Stros, Rangers, Mariners, A's, Angels
Hmm.
in the win order of 88, 86, 81, 78, and 70. And I think this goes for both of us. The Astros were right about what we thought they were. If the Astros win
Yes,
four
I
out
had
of
them
their
at
next
89.
six, if the Astros win 4 or 5 out of their next six, then me and
We get it
Kevin
right.
got one on the nose, one of the two of us. Rangers offense just underperformed a little bit than we thought. And I mean their run differential is the best in the
I was just
division,
about to say,
which is very interesting. It,
interesting
it kind of just
stat.
suggests that they're getting some big wins and some kind of unfortunate losses.
Mhm.
The Mariners, we talked about it all preseason. Could their bats do it? And they did. They
Yeah, it's
absolutely
better than
stepped
we
it up
thought.
this year. Cal Raleigh led the charge there, of course, but they've had other guys step up that have been huge, and they traded for Suarez at the deadline, who hasn't been like nearly as good as he was on the D-backs, but he's
He's
still,
there.
yeah, he's still a bat that people are going to fear. And then, you got the A's, you got the Angels. We were about there. At least the Angels I had at 70, which they're at right now. The A's I
I
had at
had
78,
68.
5 less than that right now, so probably won't get there. But yeah,
Yeah. I just looked at the Rangers run differential. It's better than all three teams that are holding the top of the divisions in the American League.
that's so crazy.
I know. And they're only 2 games over 500.
Yeah,
So it leads me to believe that a couple bounces here and there, and they're also right in this mix.
yeah, totally.
I had Seattle at 84 and 78 because I was worried about the hitting.
Yeah, which
Um,
is totally fair.
they might get to 90 here, 89 or 90,
Yeah,
which is good. It was honestly the pitching wasn't as dependable this year for the Mariners as it has been the past couple.
right.
But guys like Jorge Polanco and like
Wonderful.
J Rod was all right. And Cal Raleigh, obviously, we weren't expecting this out of him. So the bats stepped it up, just like you said, Seattle and Houston, kind of like the Yankees. We knew they would be here at the end, but also their flaws showed more in
Yeah,
terms of struggling to stay healthy with their best players.
right. Yeah. Um,
Brady's missed a lot of time. Jordan missed a lot of time.
he's missing more, it seems like.
Yeah.
So on over to the NL. That's the second time I've done that.
We could
Um,
talk about the elephant in the room here in the NL East.
yeah. Um, so we both had the Braves winning the division, if I'm not mistaken.
I had them one game behind the Phillies,
Okay, okay. Um, so I had the Braves winning it at 93
Mhm.
wins, and they're currently sitting at 73 wins.
which
So
is close.
yeah, I guess.
They could
Um,
still do it.
sure. I had the Braves at 93. That
Mhm.
offense did not do it for them this year, and the pitching didn't help them either, and neither did torn ligaments and such. Um, I had the Phillies at 90, which just kind of understated it a little bit, but I think the more losses that the Braves took, it was just kind of like it it really just fed into that win total for the Phillies.
Yeah, they're at
Uh,
92 right now.
yeah, but the that group, I wasn't sure if they could pull it together again and get way back up there again, and they sure
Mhm.
did. Um, I had the Phillies at 90, yep, and then the Mets at 89, which is not possible anymore, but
No.
not too far off. I just I had higher hopes for some guys in the rotation. I had lower hopes for some others, and it just kind of fizzled out the way it
Mhm.
did. There's still hope, but man, when you're a Mets fan, you don't really hold on to too much of that. Um, I had the Nats at 74. They're at 64 right now. I had the Marlins at 54. They're at 76. That team is scrappy.
But
That
the
team is
Marlins, yeah.
really on the come up. They could be good next year if they make some signings, if they call up some more talented guys. But if they stick with that like young, like scrappy mindset, like we're just gonna hit the ball all over the place and not strike out, could work there.
How you play baseball, man.
Yeah, just
I had
gotta
the
do
Marlins at 55, so I didn't have any hope for them either.
it.
Nationals 74 and 88. They're not even going to get there. They're bad. So,
Yep.
I had the Mets at 88, kind of for the same reasons you said. It was an easy team to get excited about. They had their bumps in the road, but honestly, not too far off in terms of where they could end up if it's 84-ish.
Yeah.
Braves, I had 95 and 57, which complete disappointment. Some health stuff.
Yep.
Everyone basically played worse than they're supposed to, except Drake Baldwin.
Yep.
Phillies, if they go four out of their next six, then I hit it right on the head. I don't know how likely that is, but they had the talent. They're getting a little old, and their biggest worry now is not getting into the playoffs, but doing it without their ace,
Yeah.
which would suck.
Yeah. Let's move on to another Central Division.
A little bit of
Um,
a miss here.
Huge miss here. I still had the Brewers. Actually, no, I had them missing the playoffs, I think.
Me too.
Um, I had them at 85. They are at 95 and still going. Could get
I'm at
100.
83.
That team did not look like they were going to hit the ball at all. We knew where they were going to pitch because they're the Brewers. They tend to do
Yeah,
that.
always.
But I, the offense, man, 790 runs scored, just
Crazy.
unbelievable. Um,
The best way to describe it, I don't mean to cut you off, it's just about the Brewers and we can move on, is they
right,
felt more Royals Guardians-y
right, yeah,
than
exactly,
we're going to be the best team in the National League.
right, absolutely. Um, yeah, the way I had it was Cubs, Brewers, Reds, Cards, Pirates,
Me
which
too.
is the right order, or no, not the right order. I had the top two flipped.
Mhm.
Um, I had the Reds at 84. I think that's very possible. I had the Cubs at
Yeah,
86. They just passed that.
the
And then
Cubs at 86 too.
Cards at 76. They're at that right now, and the Pirates at
Same.
76 as well. They're a little worse. Not too much to say about the other teams. Cubs are about what we thought. Reds
Mhm.
are honestly about what we thought. The offense wasn't going to do too much, but the pitching was going to kind of help them a little bit. And then
Yeah,
we knew the Pirates offense was going to be awful. We knew the Cardinals offense was going to be a little bit subpar, and
and their starting pitching is going to be
yeah, not
disgraceful.
playing great either. and kind of hit those on the head.
Well, I think we did mention in the spring that the Reds could give themselves a run at this thing,
Absolutely.
and that's what they're doing.
Yeah, they sure
Because
are.
yeah, the
Um,
NL it's taking fewer wins to get in than we had initially forecasted, mostly
yeah,
because the Braves aren't involved and everyone's moved up a peg.
right. Yeah, that's pretty much what's happened. And they've it's kind of strange too, because the Padres are looking like they're going to be like an 88, 89 win team, which for second to last in the wild card, that's normally
Is
about what the number is. But it
it's
looks like
good.
that last team is going to be 84, 85, which is really a low number, which is interesting.
Speaking of the Padres, I put the Diamondbacks over them preseason because they had some hype. They had a what
Too.
I thought was going to be an elite rotation with Bott and Gallen and Kelly, who two of them are bad and one of them is gone.
Then
They had,
Burns.
oh yeah, they had Burns and he got hurt.
Yeah.
No wonder I put them in the playoffs.
Yeah.
They had two MVP candidates and they had Eugenio Suarez hitting behind them.
Yep.
And it's just they're one game out of the playoffs, but it's 79 and 77, not 86 and something or 88 and something.
Yeah. I mean, they kind of did what they did last year. And I we thought they made the moves to kind of avoid that, but they're
Mhm.
just one of those teams that scores a lot and the other teams score a little bit more.
Yeah,
And that's pretty much what's happened again this year. They're looking to finish, 82, 83 wins. I mean, just not good enough again, it seems like. Of course, it could be
yeah,
good enough within these next 6 days, but the way it's
mhm,
going right now.
yeah. And then the Padres, they got good players. They got a talented enough roster to be in the mix, especially if the sixth seed in the NL is this far down. The Padres are definitely
Yeah. Yeah. I had the order again, one off on this one. I
me
had
too.
Dodgers, D-backs, Padres, Giants, Rockies. Didn't expect the Rockies to be as bad as they were.
Right.
Uh, Giants, I had them at 80 wins. That's very possible.
I had them at 82.
Padres, I had them at 86. Probably will do more than that. And then Dodgers, I had them at 98. They were a little underwhelming, but again,
A little
still
bit.
plenty good enough.
Right, but no one has, I guess in the NL too, because the top team's the Brewers. No one's really like separated themselves.
Yeah. Yeah. And the Brewers in the postseason haven't proved to be all that fearful. So, you never know what's gonna happen.
Miles.
With somebody coming in.
Miles is here. Yeah. We have a minute. We have a minute left. We're talking about the Brewers.
Oh,
Yeah.
Fallbar podcast. I'm so happy to be on this.
What's up, Colin? Make your point about the Brewers. We got to wrap this
You
up.
can you can barely hear them.
Yeah. Okay. That's probably a good thing. All right. Well, that's all the time we have for today, folks.
Yeah, that's all we got.
We'll be back next week. The playoffs will be. This year the Reds are in the playoff picture. The playoffs will be set. We'll be back to talk about it.
All righty. It was a
All righty.
pleasure.
It was. See you next week.
Yep. See you then.
Peace.